Welcome to Chapter 10, Organizing Your Resources to Write Your Paper. The register method is an index of some sort that enables you to organize the data for your paper. When you're working with notes and saved portions of documents, create a digital document containing notes from your original PDFs. Some people prefer their digital notes written out. However, if you are retaining your notes in the electronic format, determine how you want to set them up for easy retrieval of the information you need. One way is to create a single Word file for notes. Copying and pasting from electronic resources as well as your own summaries and comments. Be sure to back up this file as you go along so that you do not lose all your hard work. When looking for information in the document, use the Find feature as a retrieval tool. When you're organizing your paper-based notes, there's a couple of ways to approach it. Whichever one you choose, be consistent throughout the whole research project and do not flip back and forth. The first is the Z system. As you take notes, in the upper left-hand corner, put the area of the preliminary outline that the note fits in. For example, 1A2. In the upper right-hand corner side, put the last name of the author and the page number where the information was found. For example, Badke 244. If there is more than one entry with that name, then either also use the first name or put the first two words of the title. For example, Badke Research Strategies. Be sure to make a bibliography note as you go along. When you're through taking notes, organize your notes according to the places they belong in the preliminary outline. Reevaluate areas that have a lot of information and possibly edit the outline and the notation of the new area on the cards of that information. Badke says not to do things in paper or with index cards. He suggests that you put everything in an electronic file. Be careful to make sure that you have all the bibliographic information for your paper notes. 3-hole punch them and put the printouts in a binder according to the topic of the outline. Number your PDFs and your electronic notes in a Word file, leaving spaces between each resource. Number your note pages consecutively. Then intersperse the printouts of your documents behind the pages of notes that contain the information. Another tool for this process is Remarkable, a read and write table-like gadget that simulates paper. You can write all over it by hand, and Remarkable allows you to download documents for reading and annotation. The downside of it is that it's very, very pricey. Be sure to keep track of your resources as you gather them, including enough bibliographic information to make a citation. Citation managers, we've talked about this, are great to help you with this, but be sure to review their formatting. If you don't use a bibliographic manager, use an online style formatting program or use a separate Word file with the bibliography in the correct format. Badke lists for you what information is needed for each type of resource. For books, you will need the author, the title, city of publication, the publisher, and the copyright date. For an essay or chapter in a book, you will need the author of the essay or chapter, the title of the essay, the title of the book, the editor of the book, the city of publication, the publisher, and the copyright date, and the pages that the essay or chapter are on. For an article in a reference book, you will need the title of the article, the author of the article, if given, the title of the reference book, the edition number, the city of publication, the publisher, and the copyright date. Most of the time, you will not cite a reference book in a bibliography, unless it's a longer article from a substantial reference book. For a journal article, you will need the author and the title of the article, the title of the journal, the volume and issue numbers, the date of the issue, and the page numbers of the article. If the journal article is from a periodical database, you need everything you needed for the journal article, plus the date you accessed the article, and either the persistent link to the article or the DOI, which we've talked about, depending on the style format you're using. For a web page, you will need the name of the author, the title, the publisher, and the URL, and the date the web page was most recently accessed. Badke inserts a clearing the fog here, and I would print off that one. It's on page 248 for your future reference. Writing anxiety will undoubtedly set in during this part of the process. You will find yourself staring at a blank screen with your mind saying that this project is not going to happen. Remember that retrieval is the hardest part of research. So, getting organized is essential. You should get organized before you write. This can be done on paper or electronically. First, get a sheet of paper or a new Word document. Type your preliminary outline on it, leaving space between each heading and subheading. Determine a symbol to represent each heading or subheading. As you read through your notes, find relevant data to one of the headings, write the location under the outline heading, and then in your notes insert a symbol for the relevant outline heading so that you can use your outline to find the exact location of the data related to it. When you're using electronic files, type the symbol into the position in your outline file that are relevant to your outline. When you're using PDF files, you can do this with the comment function. This is in the top right hand of the screen. Locate where you want to put the comment and then insert the symbol. Cross-reference your notes with the outline so that you can retrieve the relevant notes as you write your paper. This way you won't have to reread the material every time you start a new section of the paper. Badke gives a second method of organizing notes, and that's a little more complex. This method works best for larger projects, and only if your resources are digital. Place all your notes in a single document. With each source, one after another, create your citation, notes, excerpts from it in a single Word document. It's going to become increasingly difficult to find the headings. What you're doing is essentially creating notes for each one of your headings. So you then create a second Word document, and you put your outline in the second Word document. Then you place your notes under each heading in your outline. Next, put another copy of your outline below the first one. The first outline will serve as a hyperlinked index to the lower outline. The lower outline will have you select notes from page 1 pasted under each outline heading. And as you find relevant information in your notes, copy and paste it directly into your Word document number 2 under the correct heading. Be sure to include citations for the resources. In front of each heading in the lower outline, create a bookmark using the insert function on the Word and create a hyperlink to each bookmark in the upper outline. So the upper outline becomes a set of links. When you need to find the notes related to an outline heading, you click on the relevant upper outline heading to launch it to the corresponding notes below. When you're asked to produce a large research project, the process of note organization becomes even more critical and much more complicated. This method just described is a better method of organization for these larger assignments. Some final tips. Do your indexing as you are going along in your research rather than waiting to the end. Make sure that you are maintaining your bibliographic citations well. The larger the project, the more chances to lose things. So be very careful with this. Realize that the preliminary outline will change as you go along. Don't panic. Just go back what you already indexed and change to the new index. That's it for this time, and we will see you next time with Chapter 11.